We were in a deep freezer, like the size of like, I don't know what to compare it to, a gymnasium. I was flying a drone in there, like I could only fly for like 30 seconds.
Like your hands?
Yeah, my hand, I had to get up out of there. Like this, it was freezing. Like you could see your breath. There was ice cream everywhere. But yeah, I agree. That was definitely a memorable moment. Today we're gonna talk about, well, the overall project was 3 case studies we did for Gordon Food Services. This one in particular was in Douglassville, which is right outside of Atlanta. The other 2, me and Peter did, who's behind the camera. We did those in Orlando, Lakeland, Florida, Plant City, Florida, and Miami. It was a hell of a project, a lot of travel, a lot of cool spots. You're talking like million+ square foot warehouses. Some fully automated, which totally like, that shit was crazy. When it comes to supply chain and distribution, Gordon Food Service is one of the best. We're gonna jump into this. Paul obviously was with me. Me and him went down to Atlanta. We stayed on Peachtree at that gold, like 80s building. It looked like Scarface would have stayed there. It was like marble everywhere. There was tacky gold, everything. It was an Airbnb. And then we got there like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, and the only thing open was a Hooters. And I ain't been to Hooters in a million years. I probably had Hooters once in my life, ever, at the one on Wells in Chicago, and we regretted it. Our stomachs were destroyed the next day. I guess I'll start, I'm gonna jump into this. So this was the outside. You can see how big this place is. This place distributes all over the south, southwest, southeast. This was dope. It's like scanning all the UPC codes.
They really offer some services that go much deeper and really support the overall.
Cheeseburger Bobby's.
Cheeseburger Bobby's, Huey Louis. So the one thing I want to say about this is, I know like we had been shooting a lot in the test kitchen, and like Warren had to jet, so we had to set up this interview real quick. The one thing I wish I would have did with the background is I wish we would have used a 1.8 or something. This looks like a 2.8 to kind of blur out like this. It's a lot going on, and I'm not a fan of the door. I always hate to see light switches in my interviews.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of options. I feel like that hallway was good. It was just like too cramped. Like we couldn't like set anything up in there.
And red is just so intense on people's skin. Like it's like, eh. And then over here you had a conference room, but we had shot like 3, 4 other interviews up in there. But it turned out well. We lit them well. It was fine, but I'm just being picky. I wish the background bokeh would have been a little more knocked out of focus.
Management teams within the restaurant.
When we record these interviews, we record it with an overhead boom over Warren for that one interview.
One thing they've always been able to do.
This area right here, I think, Paul, I'm gonna let you kind of talk about the gear that we use and how, because this was a very tight space that kind of led up to that cylindrical thing that you saw earlier on in the video.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I think I was just running around with the Ronin for that, and I was trying to get it like right over the conveyor belt so it kind of looked like it was on there.
Yeah.
And I know later we taped phone to the box to like see it go through the whole course.
I'm pretty
that
sure
shot's in here.
I don't think we used it. But I do remember I think you were jumping over this thing, like getting the shot like back and forth, because you literally had to jump over this conveyor belt. But it was dope. I think I was down here. There's some behind the scenes of me like further down with a 200 getting the boxes coming. Paul was getting the boxes going that way so we can get full coverage on the belt. Because this is a pretty vital belt in the facility.
It's really support us as we've changed and needed different products coming in, new menu items.
Yeah, and in editing this, like cutting it all together so you can see like the box starting, making sure the flow is right from the side we're shooting on the whole time to where it switches and goes down, just making sure that it makes sense. We're not just cutting shots of boxes like randomly together. We were making sure that, and I edited this myself, so just making sure that everything cuts together cohesively and tells a story.
Where in the past, it was a real struggle, and what we found with GFS is that we could ask about a product.
You see how big it is in there. This is a test kitchen.
Testing was just a matter of days, which something that took us weeks before.
Yeah, Paul, was that drone? I know Paul.
I think it was Ronin. Probably.
Yeah, that was probably Ronin. That's
I was flying the drone around.
Yeah, Paul was on drone duty that day. I was not flying. I think I might have took a flight outside of the. I think he might have did all drone that day. I don't know. But Paul was when Paul's mind is set on flying drones, you don't get in the way. You don't get in Paul's way. Peter knows. You just let him have it. He got that. You know what I'm saying? But Paul knows what he's doing. So yeah, Paul was flying through here, as you'll see in some of these other shots. That's all Ronin. That's Ronin. I think I was doing that. That's Paul. This interview right here, couple things that were tricky here. First of all, you can see all these different rows. They were on motion control lights, right? So that they're just, this is a huge warehouse. Obviously, to keep the light bill down, they're motion control. So we had to keep them going on without them going off because it would have been pitch black there. The other thing here was there's forklifts flying all through here. You know, flying down, beep, beep. There's shit flying all over this warehouse. So with this, yes, we boomed overhead, but I'm pretty sure we snuck a lav. Yeah, we hit a lav either up in here somewhere or, you know, up under his lapel somewhere, which if you're ever in a situation where there's, you know, sound or, you know, in an area, a lapel mic or a lavalier microphone is always going to get better, cleaner audio than a boom microphone. I've been backstage at like Lollapalooza recording audio where I was literally recording and in my mind I was like, this shit is not going to turn out, and it was the crispiest audio. Actually, it wasn't at Lollapalooza, it was at Sundance Film Festival, and the audio came out. These were Sennheiser G3s. I think with this, were we using G3s or were we using these Rhodes that we got on right now? I think we're still
using G3s.
We're still using the Sennheiser G3s.
This was what, 2 years ago?
This is like pandemic.
Maybe?
This is like when people we were running around with masks on and shit. So yeah. I mean, you can see this place is
Wait, go back. I guess that was just Ronin.
Yeah, that's Ronin.
I don't think I would have flown that gap.
I wanted some of this food, but we didn't get it. They're 120p. We were shooting, what were we shooting on? Was this when we first got the A7S IIIs?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when we first got the A7S
FX3.
III. Before the FX3, this is when we first got like the 120p, because everything else, we had the FX9, it was all 60p. So this was our first 10-bit 120K or 120
4K 120.
4K 120 cameras, and this shit just looks so good. You can see on here the guy with, you know, the spices on the chicken, and the shit just turned out dope.
The ideation sessions where we develop different flavor profiles.
You can hear all those.
Did you add that sound?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say all the sound design in this video. Obviously, there's a little bit of that sound, but because this is a kitchen, a lot of it's just too loud. There's people talking. A lot of this stuff was stripped out, and then I went in and added sound design, that sizzle, the spatula hitting and things like that with sound effects from our sound library. I like to use SoundSnap. It's a place that I've used for a long time. It's super, super, super slept on. Soundsnap.com. I've built an amazing sound effects library over the years, and if you haven't been there, you can find sounds for fucking anything. You want to hear a snake fart in Egypt? Go to soundsnap.com.
Not expecting that.
Yeah.
This is making me hungry right now.
That feta. Yeah, that food looked fire. We didn't get any. Yeah, you can hear those sound effects. That's Paul flying through there, and what I want to say is, I'm gonna put Paul on blast. When I first started working with Paul, and I took a drone out and flew it in a warehouse, he was sweating. He was like, "What the fuck? What's going on? Why are you doing this? How are you gonna do this? Aren't you afraid you're gonna hit something?" And this guy here, he is flying through this 1 million square warehouse. And if you look, there's like all these verticals up and down. You can hit that. This is, you know,
the top, the bottom.
The top, the side, the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, Paul got his weight up, and again,
come a long way.
He came a long way. And when he's got his mind to pulling that drone out, just let him, Peter, just let him have it. Let him have his way, because he gonna deliver some fire. So yeah. But yeah, it was hard doing this, or did you almost hit anything, or were you good?
No, I don't think so. The only like scary part is turning off your obstacle avoidance.
Right, you had to do that.
You got to keep an eye on it.
And you're just barely hitting
line of sight. Yeah.
Barely hitting the joystick.
Oh yeah. Were
you getting a lot of like sway, or was it pretty locked in?
I don't think so, not in there, no.
Yeah, it wasn't too windy or nothing, I mean, yeah. We shot this all together in about 6 hours, and you know, we had to schedule time. You're running on a very tight schedule, because in the 6 hours, we have to shoot all the interviews, we have to shoot the entire facility, which is insanely large, over 1 million square feet, I want to say. And in that 1 million square feet, you have to get every aspect of the conveyor belts, the chain, the scanners, all this kind of stuff, because you're showing off the entire process of how they get a product from point A to point B and out into a truck. So you can't miss that. You're having to, get one part of the warehouse. Okay, cool. It's 12:15. We got to go get Warren. Let's go get his interview. Boom. Okay, it's 1:15. All right, we got to go get this test kitchen. And again, me and Paul took this down solo dolo. Me and Peter took down the whole Florida thing solo dolo. Jay was with us kind of as a PA helping out. This is why we do things the way we do. We don't believe in big crews. We don't believe in 100 people running around because you're just going to get in the way. When you're at a huge operation like a Gordon Food Service, the more people you have in there, the more opportunity you have to destroy some shit and leave a bad impression on a client. When we go to something like this, the most important thing is making sure that their client experience is amazing. It's not about showcasing all the gear we have and all the toys. That's a byproduct of us giving them a good time and getting in there and executing on everything that we talked about in pre-production to deliver an amazing product. So, again, me and Paul did all this ourselves at this place. Everything you see shot here is just us. We did it in six hours. So you don't need days on site. You don't need 100 people doing all this stuff. You need 2 shooters that are really good guys when it comes to plan. And don't let me leave out Lydia Smith, our creative director, who helps schedule all this. You need a good plan, which is a pre-production document, creative document, and you need 2 shooters that are really good at getting shit done and understanding timing and time management to get in there, get out of there, and get on to the next shoot. And that's what we did here to make this happen.
Locations or 100 locations, we can design a program.
Yeah, this thing, we have to pop this guy. This guy was showcasing the dishes that they sell to the restaurants that they partner with.
Right.
We've been able to grow.
There's a lot going on here.
And change and
Chemicals, more to warehouse. I don't know, Paul, I'm gonna let you.
A lot of boxes.
Yeah, this guy loved it.
He was
loved
moving
it.
fast.
Yeah, he
too.
was. This dude was. This was Hal Perns. Me and Peter shot this in Orlando. I want to say this is one of their meat distributors.
From menu standpoint, and with our back office support, some things like recipe
I'm gonna back it up.
manager, inventory manager,
I always want to say it about this guy right here. Where is he at?
and
That guy's got great hair. He's got the smile. He got
$1
that
million smile.
$1 million smile. He got the stash. This guy loves his job, and I love to see that, which is probably why the shot made it into the video. Because again, you're showcasing a warehouse. You want to show not only that it's functional, but that the people there enjoy their jobs. And this is a guy that looks really good. He's happy, and we want to make sure that made the edit.
back office support, some things like recipe.
This was a shot where it's like, because there's so much, there's all the stickers around here, and then there's this garbage can.
Yeah.
But it was a good shot showing the guys, giving Warren the tour of the warehouse, looking at whatever was on that screen. So that's why I made it in there. But normally we will leave out stuff with a garbage can. I guess I could have cropped in, maybe. I don't know.
Manager, inventory manager has really helped us.
That was a dope shot. That warehouse is crazy. Drone shot. Shout out to Chris Connie on the logo, animation. Anyways, that's our deep dive behind the shoot into a case study video we did for one of our clients. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, whatever those YouTuber guys say. But this is INDIRAP. Holla at you next time. Peace.